bring snacks.
Hey, we live.
Of course we are. What it do? Snackers and snackettes. It's your boy Gage. Jokes is in the building. Say hi, Jokes.
Yo, yo.
Sin is in the building. Say what up, Sin.
Yes, sir. What's happening?
You are officially watching cutscenes, and cutscenes are...
The best part of the game.
That's right. And this is where we gentlemen get together once a week and talk about things that are happening in pop culture. And under many, many circumstances, this happens on a Wednesday night when we can control it.
Mm-hmm.
This time around, happening on a Thursday because today was the start of Gamescom.
Mm-hmm.
Opening night live, Jeff Keighley's big opening thing, which started for the first time last year. Obviously doing it under different circumstances and conditions this year because Gamescom, like everything else, is all digital. They are not bringing hundreds of thousands of people together. Gamescom is easily the biggest video game convention that there is. Like the sheer number of people that just collapse on each other in Cologne, Germany, would have been disgusting this year.
Yeah.
It's pretty disgusting by all accounts every year anyway. So, yeah, when you're already likely to get con crud at an event, this is a year to not do that. So opening night live was happening today, and yes, it's opening night live, but of course it's Germany, so the timing is like 6 hours off. So that happened at like 2 o'clock this afternoon, our time here on the East Coast in the U.S. So we are going to go over our impressions of opening night live, where we think things are going industry-wise, blah, blah, blah. Then we're going to talk about some stuff we've been playing. But opening night live is probably going to take up the majority of what we have to discuss tonight. Sin, I know you had a chance to check things out.
I did.
Jokes, I know you were working, so you didn't get a chance to really dig in. Did you get to see anything?
Not really.
Other than what I put in the team's chat?
Not so much, because typically, when we have these game conventions and cons and things like this come up, I normally get tons and tons of alerts about major important things that have occurred. I didn't really get that. I didn't really get that from Gamescom.
We're going to discuss why that is.
So, yeah.
Sin.
You.
Overall impressions, sir, before we start digging into the details?
Okay. Like, not what they were making, opening night to be, like this big grand thing, all this great stuff. I sat down and watched, was like, okay, like it was okay. I mean, everything they showed, of course, all of it wasn't for me. Everything's not going to be for everybody. Couple things did pique my interest that I did see, like, okay, I'm looking forward to that, or I'm going to keep my eye on that right there. But overall, it was okay. Like, I'm not nothing I'm rushing, share, y'all got to look at this. Y'all got to, I got to make sure everybody sees this or nothing like that. Just, okay, cool, whatever. All right, let's get on the Gamescom now.
Yeah, I pretty much felt exactly the same way. It was, I'm going to use the word underwhelmed.
Okay.
And look, not because, what up, Tony?
Hey.
Not because my expectations were actually super duper high, as a whole, because as we kind of discussed offline, because Gamescom follows E3 every year, usually what you get at Gamescom for the most part are rehashes of stuff you've already seen. A lot of times it's the same trailers you've already seen.
Right.
In a lot of circumstances, it might be a slightly different version of a trailer you've already seen, stuff like that. We don't usually get a whole lot of news. What I was expecting, though, was a little bit more, specifically because, again, Opening Night Live is only in his second year with Jeff Keighley. Jeff Keighley has been pushing this summer Games Festing all summer, which I'm going to say at best has been lukewarm. And this is really the thing that was like, this is the thing that's going to cap it off, other than the Game Awards at the end of the year, which are apparently still happening, according to him, based on what he said at the end of this. What up, Kayshawn? What's up, Melford? So my expectations, because there also were some pretty decent announcements at opening night live last year. But again, that was like, they brought Kojima up and, all that kind of stuff. Death Stranding was still, kind of big, and they used it in ways that I feel like they couldn't quite do this year, because everybody can't get together. But I was still kind of expecting a little bit more. So what I want to do is I want to start at the beginning. We're gonna kind of just go through what was shown.
Cool.
First thing I saw, Scarlet Nexus, which I'm gonna say looked incredible. That joint looks incredible.
That is one of those.
And here's the thing. Maybe I'm mistaken. I feel like when I first saw Scarlet Nexus, it was shown as a Switch thing. Am I tripping?
No, we saw it on Xbox.
Xbox was where.
That's right. Because it looks like it's an exclusive. I didn't see anybody else's name at the bottom of that trailer other than Xbox.
Yeah, same here.
So, I mean, that joint's looking pretty solid. When we're actually going to get it, I don't know. But that joint looked pretty solid. Then there was a PlayStation game called Quantum Error, which looks kind of like a horror shooter. Reminded me a little bit of Fear. And just in terms of like the fact that it's a first-person shooter and it had those horror elements. It looks good. Just, they didn't really give us a lot of information. I guess you need to go to quantumerror.com if you want to get additional information. And maybe we'll get more over the weekend. Then, listen, they did this really weird thing with Ford.
Ford?
Yeah.
What up, Lightning? They did this Ford there. So they got this thing with Ford called Team Fordzilla. They built a car. They got with gamers, and they built a car based on like gamers' ideas and specs, right? And it's it's not a real car. I mean, and so they unveiled the car for the first time. They had this whole like they were pulling the cloth off, off of it or whatever, and showed it driving down the road or whatever. It's this kind of really weird, futuristic, almost F1 looking kind of vehicle. So it was like the world premiere of this combination Ford / gamers, built by gamers for gamers car, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. And then they went on to announce, because they had such a good time partnering with gamers and making this, that they are going to actually make this car. They are going to make a real car. Why that joint isn't opening night live, I don't know.
Yeah, same thing. I didn't get the whole point of it. Like, what's the point of having this here? Is this car going to be in dirt, Forza, anything coming out? Like Gran Turismo, anything? Nothing. We're just going to made a car, a virtual car, and now you're going to build it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't.
One in existence.
I almost feel like they didn't give enough time to them to really explain like what is going on and what happened. I guess I gotta do my own research or something.
Right.
It just,
the whole why behind it, why are you doing this type of thing?
Yeah, like, what are you getting out of this, Ford? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the? I don't know. Anyway, they did follow that up, funny enough, with the new trailer for Dirt 5. So I'm thinking, oh, they're gonna put the joint in Dirt 5. No, no, they did not. No, they did not. What they did show though for Dirt that was different was like basically like an arena where you can put, it almost like a monster truck rally arena, where they had like loop-de-loops and all kinds of stuff that you could put in there or whatever. And then at the end of the trailer, everything kind of went dark and the word vampire showed up. I don't know what that means. They didn't explain it.
Yeah, they just showed a car with like red headlights and it said to be continued. That was it.
Maybe they'll explain more over the weekend. I don't know.
Hopefully.
But we know that game comes out soon. So whatever it is they're going to talk about, they need to do it soon. Jurassic World Evolution for Switch. I mean, all right. We're not even going to talk about it. Black Ops Cold War. All right, so we got the trailer for Black Ops Cold War yesterday, which again is almost like we probably could have waited a day and put that on here and made it a little more exciting.
What's
but,
up, Alphonse?
You know, whatever. Alfonso, what's up, man? Hey, look, you right, Lightning. Call of Duty do be lying, but you want it. You gonna play it. So this is a direct sequel to Black Ops 1. Okay. The game is going to have multiple. Here's the stuff that's interesting to me. So the game is going to have multiple endings, and there will be a creator character for the single player. So you'll be able to create your own character to go through the story mode in the game. They haven't even really talked about multiplayer yet. They're going to. That's supposed to be coming. We'll see. I know that 4K 120. We'll see if it hits it. I thought that was very interesting. It's cool. Look, Ronald Reagan in video game form. It ain't the first time I seen him in video game form. I don't know who was doing his voice. It kind of sounded like him. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But
I like
the premise of the game sounds cool.
I like the more attention that seems like they're paying attention to the single player campaign. I do like the idea of them giving a little bit more attention to that instead of just throwing them together.
When your last game didn't have a single player campaign at all because you failed at getting it completed and so you couldn't put it out and so all you did was multiplayer, you better put a focus on single player.
You gotta come with that fire with this single player.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not giving them no kudos for focusing on single player. Y'all completely missed the boat last year. You've been making this game for 15 years straight. Every year. 15 years. 3 different teams cycling out. You know what I'm saying? Every team gets a 3-year development cycle. Every team. And you don't even work on all your own stuff. They have multiple development teams that work on the multiplayer, on the shooting mechanics, on whatever. So there are other development teams that do it, like Treyarch or whoever gets the big kudos for this being their game. You know what I mean? When they put theirs out. But it ain't like Raven Software works on those games. Like all of them other people do it together. So for real, no, the last Call of Duty did not have single player, dog. It did not. the Black Ops 4.
Might probably talking about Modern Warfare, I guess.
Yeah, I think talking about
Yeah. The last Black Ops that didn't have anything. It was all multiplayer. And then they did Warzone. That was it. So they just the team that was supposed to be working on this, they actually pulled because Treyarch is only on a 2-year development cycle to get this one done. Because they had worked on the one 2 years ago. So really they supposed to have an extra year to do this, but the other team was still struggling so bad, they pulled them and made them jump on it. So I'm a little bit concerned, but we'll see how it goes. I don't play Call of Duty anyway, but I'm considering this one because of the single player focus. So then we got a new joint I hadn't heard of called Unknown 9 Awakening by Reflector Studios. It says PC and next gen. We don't know exactly when. It was just a CG trailer, so we don't even really know what it means. But it looked really interesting. It's like this little girl who is getting attacked in the street, and as she's getting attacked, this kind of wave pulses out from her, and when it does, everything kind of seems to slow down. And apparently, she seems to be able to just ahead of time, like predict things and move out of the way of things or something like that. It looked interesting. We'll see how that goes. Then Doom Eternal. So the expansion for Doom Eternal, The Ancient Gods, Part 1. Not talking about you, Chris Lightning. Expansion. That's coming October 20th.
The chat.
Yeah, right around the corner.
So then, look, we got kind of a weird look from BioWare on like the new Dragon Age game, which I'm hesitant to call Dragon Age 4 because they didn't actually give it a name. They just kept saying the next Dragon Age. So we don't have a title for it. We don't know what it means. We just kind of saw them talking about it and like showing environments.
Yeah, a lot of concept art, stuff like that.
Yeah, talking to devs, and like I hate that. Like, don't do that. Like BioWare has done that several times over the last few years, and their last few games have not worked out well. This is one they can't afford to mess up. Because if they mess this one up, I feel like all of BioWare's credibility goes out of the window. I'm going to give them a little extra because Casey Hudson is back with them. And he was gone for the majority of what was Andromeda and what's the other terrible joint that they did that were flying through the different weather patterns of yeah, Anthem. Yikes. So we'll see how Dragon Age turns out. Then they did Surgeon Simulator 2, which for whatever reason they used Doc Brown from Back to the Future to introduce this game. And it didn't have nothing. Like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, they doing a Back to the Future game? Like, all right,
Surgeon.
They had Doc Brown like acting as acting as Doc Brown, portraying that character, flaming tire marks on the ground and everything, talking about go play Surgeon Simulator 2.
He came back in time because this game was so important.
Oh, that's how they played that?
It's so important to the future, you know.
That's how they played that? That was a fail. That was the reaching. Which celebrity can we get to put out here? Oh, Christopher Lloyd answered the call, so let's make him come back from the future. No, that's a fail.
That joint. I'm not saying Surgeon Simulator ain't gonna be fun and some co-op. I'm just saying
it looked like it can be fun, but the whole presentation was
that was so flip. What though? What are you talking about, Chris?
Oh yeah, he did. He said like in the year like 2177 or Thanos' son gonna come back or something like that.
Yeah. It's nah, dog. If we not taking Thanos apart in Surgeon Simulator, I don't care. But Surgeon Simulator 2 is out now. Like, it was like you can do this right now. So I guess that was one of the things. So then they announced, this was kind of out of left field, Bridge Constructor: The Walking Dead. Now, I don't know if either of you have ever played Bridge Constructor.
No.
I know puzzle games ain't really our thing. Bridge Constructor is actually pretty fun. Though the one I usually play is Bridge Constructor Portal. They have like a Portal crossover.
Okay.
So they don't really do a good job of explaining what this has to do with The Walking Dead or whatever, or how it works, but you know,
I think Bridge.
It'll probably be all right.
I don't think one thing with Bridge and Walking Dead right now, and okay, but
what's not a real game, Chris? What are you talking about? Bridge Constructor: Walking Dead, man, it's a real game. I mean, it's gonna be a real game.
Right.
Then they reintroduced Sam and Max, which I mean I know has its place. Doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, that's back from
so we're not even gonna get into it. So they did another thing that was interesting, which was they started to focus on World of Warcraft Shadowlands, and they didn't. The way that they showed it was Blizzard is doing a 4-part animated. I don't know if I want to call it a series, but a 4-part animated story. The first part of the story is called Bastion, and they showed like this entire first part. And honestly, the story was cool. Like, I actually kind of was digging it. But it didn't have anything to do with gameplay. You know what I mean, or whatever. I will say this: our good friend Jerry Gaylord, we know he's at Blizzard. And so as soon as I saw it, I was like, I wonder if he's working on this. And of course, shortly after it dropped, he posted something saying this was like the first thing he worked on when he got to Blizzard. So I think that's really dope. Yeah. Kudos to you, Jerry. It's great to see your work out there in front of the gaming community, and to get an opportunity to shine on something like Opening Night Live. So, that's dope. Bastion was cool. I like the story. The game expansion itself is coming out October 27th. So I know those who play World of Warcraft are super excited about it. Again, not my shtick. I don't really do the get down. You're right, Chris. Blizzard does tell a good story, and they probably should be doing more things in that storytelling realm instead of just these short stories. But we'll see how that turns out. Then they talked about Warhammer: Age of Sigmar Stormground, which, I mean, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Again, I know it means stuff to people. Okay. That's not coming until sometime in 2021. Then they did this weird thing with Crash Bandicoot 4, which, again, already announced.
No, it's coming.
What they talked about was that there's going to be these things in the game called flashback tapes. Okay? that allow you to go back and play some like heavily platforming kind of stuff that's supposed to be like retro, I guess, kind of levels. And the way you have to obtain these flashback tapes is you have to survive the stage and you have to collect the flashback tape on the stage that it's on without dying. Which is a callback to some of the things they did in some of the old games or whatever, in order to be able to access it. So, for all of you who care about Crash Bandicoot,
jokes,
cool. Is that your thing? Are you a Crash guy?
I like Crash. Like I've played all the Crash games, so I'm definitely gonna play this one. I wouldn't say it's my favorite thing, but definitely something for me growing up. Crash was probably one of the things I was introduced to on PlayStation 1. Like that's one of those first games that I got and just kind of stuck with.
I feel bad for you. Crash games are terrible games. Them joints are garbage. Like they're bad platformers for real. Like them joints not like them joints terrible. They're like pseudo 3D. We couldn't really figure out how to do 3D, so they like endless runners. Like you can do that joint on your phone now. It's like I don't know. They're just not. They floaty. The mechanics aren't good. Like I think the thing about Crash is that Crash represented like that bad boy sort of. Like Mario is so wholesome, so like they kind of went for the same thing with Crash that like Sega went for with Sonic, where Sonic was like more of a bad boy, you know what I mean, and like Mario was. But Crash, he's almost a 90s baby. Lightning.
Just missed it.
Just missed it. 89, dog. Yeah. It counts. He a 90s dude. It's not 89, bruh. Get out of here, bruh. You don't know nothing, man. So then, this was interesting. So they introduced this new game called Teardown, which, on the surface, when they talked about it, it's by this company called Tuxedo Labs. Mm-hmm. It's like 2 people. Developed this game, and everything in the environment is destructible, like everything. Okay. So they built their own game engine from scratch to do it. When I saw it, I was less impressed, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because basically, it looks like Minecraft, but with much smaller blocks. So it was like, it wasn't like it looked realistic and everything is, you know what I'm saying, destructible or whatever. Like, we ain't really messing with like no Dice Engine, Battlefield kind of destructible levels kind of thing. Like, they sold it like everything is destructible. And then you watch and it's like, it's cool, but the point is you're supposed to like, I guess it's kind of like a puzzle game. It looks like you're supposed to basically try to figure out, you're basically trying to pull off a heist. You're supposed to be going and getting these things, and you're basically trying to create the fastest, most efficient path to doing it by like destroying things. Put a hole in something, shoot, a pillar out from underneath or something to create a bridge, stuff like that or whatever, so that when it starts, you can travel at the most optimum path to try to grab the things for the heist or whatever. Which again is cool in concept.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not quite ready to give it what they were giving it.
Interesting.
Let's go.
Yeah, I think it was interesting, and I'll keep my eye on it. But yeah, I agree. When they first said something about it, I didn't expect it to look the way it did. Like you said, like Minecraft, like a Lego game. Like, oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, I get everything destructible now. You know what I mean? Like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, everything made out of paper. Okay. It's all paper mache. Okay, I got it. And listen, that's not the poo-poo on the hard work of anybody who worked really hard to make that happen. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Nah, poo-poo. Yeah. So, Little Nightmares 2. I'm going to tell you what. Didn't play the first Little Nightmares. No, it was like highly touted. Mm-hmm. The joint looks so much like I enjoyed Limbo was dope. Those games, it feels very much like one of those games. I know you don't do spooky, scary.
Ain't happening.
Sin.
Ain't happening.
Here's the thing, Sin.
What?
With a name like Sin.
Yeah.
You would think.
One might assume, you get down with the demon and the scary and the ghost.
No, that's just being evil. Not necessarily horror.
I got you. That horror is evil. Isn't horror
I would think
evil?
I would float in there for
it's a realm of it. But I explore the rest of it, not that.
So then what are you Sin? Or are you like Sin from like Final Fantasy X or some crap like that?
No, sitting as if I'll kill hostages in a bank robbery. I'll take hostages, stuff like that. I'm not gonna summon up a demon and have him haunt everybody. No, I don't play with that.
Hey, listen, man. And you ain't never played Payday 2 with us, jokes. My man, John, like, we be trying to off hostages. It's a real thing.
Hey, get on the floor.
Yeah. All right, so then they talked about WWE 2K Battlegrounds. You know, they had my man Jerry the King Lawler.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
You know, talking about it, whatever. Jokes, that's all you, buddy. I mean, for real, I'd probably be more likely to play Battlegrounds than I am to play
The
actual
normal 2K.
Yeah, just because it's just an arcade wrestling, that joint. As long as it has co-op, tag team, whatever,
Something,
like
yeah.
I might.
You about it. Yeah.
I don't know about all that, but I might jump on it just based on that. Like I you know what I mean? Like I don't care about anybody who wrestles in the WWE anymore. Like I don't know these people. Like they were showing all these people on the screen. I'm like, I don't know who that is. Then they showed Undertaker. I was like, that's my guy.
I know that.
Like I know that dude. Yeah. They talk about moves and stuff people have.
I played the first few Resident Evils when they came out. Beat them. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, they weren't scary after a while. You know what I'm saying? After you first meet that new enemy, you get that jump, like, okay.
But you just run through them. You already know what's going to happen. It's not scary when you already know what's going to happen.
Yeah, so.
Now, with the stories the way they set up, you kind of like, no.
I know, right? Government everywhere.
All the time. All the time. Hey, listen. So yeah, like Battlegrounds, man. I'm not sure.
I think it'll be.
It's
fun.
probably gonna be all right, man. I'm totally expecting you to buy the collector's edition of this joint. Jokes.
It's only like $10 more or something. Like, there's no like ultimate edition version of it, so I'm probably gonna get it because just like you said, like I feel like this one's gonna be fun to play. Like definitely with your friends and everything. Like after the disappointment of 2K20, it's like 2K decided to kind of shift gears and go to the more arcadey style thing. I remember when WWE All Stars came out years ago. That was actually pretty fun to actually play. So I'm actually looking forward to it because honestly, I haven't played. I played 2K19. I kind of just got bored with it. 2K20 came out. History on that is garbage. I downloaded it when it was like free play weekend on Xbox Live. Downloaded it, played it, cut it off, never went back to it.
Garbage. Facts. You know what? Here's the only reason why that joint is on my radar. Extra Life. That's the only reason why that joint is on my radar. I will buy that joint for us to run and play that joint at Extra Life. Only because I for real would probably rather play Fight for New York or something like that. Like,
hey, we
hook up the old box and get on and run. I would much rather do that. But, you know, it'd be a new game, multiplayer that we could jump in and, you know, have some fun on Extra Life, and I think that'd be cool. So that's probably what I would do that. So then they talked about Star Wars Squadrons, which, again, it looks cool. You know what I mean? I'm interested in it. It's a $40 game. You know, they're talking about what the single-player experience is like. I'm still a little up in the air about exactly what that means in terms of, like, how much content and what you're really getting.
Right. Because
it's only a $40 game. But it looks good. I haven't played a Star Wars flight game in so long. Probably since, like, Rogue Squadron.
Like.
Yeah. That, like, I'm like, all right. You know what I mean? I might be willing to give this. And I kind of like the idea of the fact that it switches back and forth between playing both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You play for the Empire and you play for the Rebels. I think that's cool. What's up, Nick?
I'm definitely in for it too. Like, I really, this is the, like, I want to be able to try the VR portion of it. Like, I really think that's going to be interesting with this game. So
that's the version I plan on getting for it when it comes out.
Oh yeah, so you got your setup over. It sounds like we're gonna come over there and actually play it for a little bit then.
Yeah, I'm not putting my head in no headset with y'all dudes. COVID, man. I ain't coming out there and putting my head in no headset with y'all.
Gotta take care of that.
Lay y'all both. So then they talked about 12 minutes, which is probably one of the most interesting games that we saw, like at E3, which is like this top-down sort of a puzzle where this gentleman is stuck in this time loop, and you're just trying to get out of that loop or whatever. But now they've added some very high-end voice acting. So they got James McAvoy,
Oh,
Daisy Ridley, and
Mm-hmm.
Willem
damn.
Dafoe
Ooh.
in this game. Again, this is an Xbox joint, so we'll see how that turns out. What's wrong, man?
Lightning.
You know what, Lightning? We gonna leave you be, Lightning.
Title of this section.
Hey, look. Then they had this weird thing where like they showed like 10 seconds of like Godfall gameplay. It was
Yeah,
just
they
like
showed one of the new they
that's
showed
it.
off the new armor setup, like the one that they keep showing with the lion head or whatever. They show like a whole new one or whatever, like a moth type thing. It
10
looked cool,
seconds?
but yeah, it was like you said, it was very quick. It was very
bruh,
quick.
it was like 10, 20 seconds. They like did like a quick joint where they showed up close like the armor itself kind of like panning around the character or whatever, and then they showed the character fighting like these two enemies. You didn't see her kill both the enemies. Like it just
No, it just went
they
off.
just
Yeah.
showed some quick or whatever, and then they said that there'll be more Godfall throughout Gamescom or whatever. So it was a little weird, but they did show that. Then they showed some new stuff for Warframe, the Heart of Demos, which again, look, man, Warframe is cranking for a lot of people.
Big thing.
I have not been able to get into Warframe, even as a free-to-play game. And every time they show something new, I'm like, man, that joint looks cool. Like, I could probably get into that. But I don't. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. But it look cool. Then they showed this joint called Override 2 Super Mech League, which just looked. I mean, I don't know. Hey, you know what? It might be fun. It's giant mechs fighting each other. They had these different kind of mechs, kind of
Oh, I
corny,
think I
silly
know what you're
looking.
talking about. I think they did like an alpha or a beta or something for that, and I think I actually played that for all of 15 minutes.
Yeah,
I
let's
think.
well, we can leave it at that. I mean, it didn't look that interesting to me. Then they did something about Mafia 2. We're not even gonna talk about it.
The Mafia remake looks good.
Yeah,
Compared to how it originally would look. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, it looks good, but
Yeah.
they're old games. Like we're not going into that.
Yeah, I've played it.
Lemnis Gate. This is interesting. This is a turn-based first-person shooter where you're in a 25-second time loop, and you appear to be playing against other people. So it's like you take a turn, you run, try to go do something, get somewhere. As they do it, they say like you study your opponent, you as you study what your opponent does, and then like you see what they do, then you take your turn. They show you like shooting people while they can't really do anything, I guess, because they're in this loop or whatever. The joint just looked really interesting. That's supposed to be coming out early 2021.
Mm-hmm.
It's also supposed to be current gen. It doesn't say anything about next gen for that.
Ew.
So we'll see how that turns out. Then they talked about Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. So all 9 movies redone. Looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've had my fill of Lego games. I've had and played them all. I played the original trilogy. I played it again when they put it back out. It is, in fact, the only Lego games that have ever had online co-op. 360, when they re-put those out, they added online co-op. It was garbage.
Yes.
But all Lego games need it. And if this joint don't have it, I'm boycotting that joint too. So we're not getting into that.
I'm kind of with you. Like, I'm interested in getting this one because I haven't played any of the Lego Star Wars ones since the original trilogy.
That's what I was gonna say.
But yeah, and this one, since it has all of them plus the new ones in it, just give me the co-op that I need, and I'll be good.
I played through. Usually the Lego games, I get them and I play them all the way through. Open everybody, get all the stuff, whatever. This joint, the last Star Wars one, was like when they did Episode 7. And I played through a lot of it. I don't even know if I want to say I played through I played through a lot of it. It's cool, but it just felt so much like more of the same. You know what I mean? It's just that same kind of tried and true Lego format. It's just gotten so old, and like it does work sometimes when you do put it into a new format. When you go from the Harry Potter one to the Indiana Jones one to the Star Wars one to, you know what I mean, to like the Avengers joints was fire. I played all 3 of the Lego Batman ones. I didn't get the Lego villains. I was just like, you know what? I've had enough. You know what I mean? That joint was on sale for like $7 the other day, and I was like, oh, I'm about to. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm past it. Like, even my youngest won't even play that joint anymore. Like, she might play for an hour if I'm just like, hey, come on, let's play this. But she ain't like, hey, can we get? She don't care. So I don't care no more. It looks good though. Current and next gen. That's spring next year. So that also is another thing. It's like, why is that joint so far away? Why is that joint not? Well, you know what? Maybe it's gonna come out this year. COVID has messed a lot of things up. Let me not.
Because I did think it had her. I thought it had an earlier release date than that. I could have sworn they said something, but
yeah. I see you laughing at me, G. I mean, nah, you right to laugh. I'm not playing that joint. I'm done with that. They're not getting that money. Then they announced this joint called Struggling, which came out today on Switch. It's on Steam already. Came out today on Switch.
Oh yeah,
it's like a co-op, little nasty. Yeah, that joint's nasty. I just encourage you, go look it up. Struggling.
Yeah.
Then they showed a new trailer for Chorus, which debuted at E3. It's like the flight sim game that, not sim, but it's like a flight game, whatever. That joint looks cool.
It does.
I might be. Yeah.
I can use something like that, something different than I had for in a while.
Just to kind of even out some of the playing for Then they show Fall Guys Season 2. I mean, look, you can't ignore it. Fall Guys is easily the biggest game there is right now. Period.
I'm looking forward to it. Fall Guys is great fun.
Once that joint hits Xbox, and Switch, then it's really gonna pop off. For what it's doing right now, wait till that joint really gets in everybody's hands. So them doing the Season 2, that's cool. You know what I mean? We'll see how it goes. But everybody's looking forward to this medieval theme. That's what people wanted to know. See what outfits and stuff like that they could get. That's cool. They showed Wasteland 3. Look, Game Pass, that joint drops, I want to say like tomorrow. You know, say something like that. I think it comes out tomorrow. So that's cool, but we don't need to get into that. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. So we saw this before. This is the Medal of Honor game that Respawn is doing. It's a VR game. This joint looks like it's going to be the truth.
I'm looking forward to this. Yes.
Here's the thing. Medal of Honor is the game that precedes Call of Duty. And Vince Zampella, the head of Respawn, those are the folks who did Medal of Honor originally, and then
that's good.
Ended up doing Call of Duty, and ended up leaving Activision with their issue with Call of Duty, forming Respawn, doing Titanfall. So for them to be back at the helm of a Medal of Honor already is a big deal. Then you couple it with the fact they're doing VR, they're kind of taking it seriously. Like it's you're supposed to be kind of playing through as people who were in the war. Okay. So I think that's just gonna be dope.
I think so.
And they are adding multiplayer for VR, which is super interesting. But it was cool to hear them talk about just, the struggles of having to, like, try to make it so that a controller can do what you can do in real life as far as, like, ducking, dodging, leaning, stuff like that. Then it's just like in VR, you just duck, dodge, or lean. You know what I mean? So it's cool. Hey, Kayshawn, I see you. Yeah. Kayshawn, you dragging people in Fall Guys? How many crowns you got? Don't be in the comments talking about how you dragging folks. How many crowns you got?
I have none, but I'm having a blast playing it.
Yeah, but are you dragging people? You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Kayshawn out there calling folks out. Like, what's up? Like,
whatever it takes to get to the end.
Which is fair. I just want to know, are you getting crowns? You know what I'm saying? You ain't getting crowns, you ain't doing nothing. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
But yeah,
So then,
Metal on VR, that's probably going. As long as it holds up to what they were talking about, that'll be a day one for me. Definitely for the VR.
I don't have any. I have no doubts that joint's gonna hold up. I got the utmost respect for Respawn, so I think that joint's gonna hold out. You might as well just consider your money spent. Just go ahead and pre-order that joint.
That was how.
So then, Spellbreak. This joint is an interesting game. We saw a little bit of this before. It's a multiplayer. They're all battle mages, wielding like different abilities. You know what I mean? Fire and earth and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's not Avatar, but you know what I'm saying. Nah, you don't see nobody streaming Fall Guys. You know why you don't see nobody streaming Fall Guys? Because ain't nobody streaming that joint. You know what I'm saying? Sent out there losing. He'll stream it. He gonna record it when he get a crown
and then
post it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm streaming it if I'm losing. I don't really care. Like, it's just fun to play.
Oh man, what's up, Ty? Thanks for the welcome back, sir. I appreciate it. I had a little bit of an emergency the other day. I had to slide out.
While it's still free, both y'all should grab it while it's still free, just to have it.
I downloaded it, so yeah, I'll hop on, try
Nope.
it out.
Nope. Here's the thing. I'm not interested. I know what's going on. I'm not interested. But
when it hits the box,
being that it is a phenomenon, I'm trying to steer clear. I'm trying to steer clear.
You can just have it. We can run it on Extra Life.
Yeah, nah. I'm not even gonna turn on a PlayStation.
That's what I was gonna say. That's
gonna
require him to switch.
As of right now, as of right now, if the rumors hold,
and that Series X drops.
The Series X drops the day before Extra Life.
Boy,
I'm not touching the PlayStation. All Extra Life, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna spend that Friday re-downloading assets to make sure I got the most forest of Ks and the most FPSs and hertz, so that when it comes time to go, you know what I'm saying? Listen, this year there's a high possibility Extra Life ain't gonna have no load times.
Just imagine that. We got all the games open. All the games are open. Just do the quick switch to each one of them.
True.
Yeah, bruh. That joint. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna download it. You know, whatever. It's free. Y'all know how it is. You just download the free joints, even if you don't ever play.
Right. It's just there, and there's one day. It's like,
Yeah. I still gotta finish Ghost of Tsushima. So when I turn the joint back on to jump back in Ghost, I grab that joint. I got like a day left to get that joint. I think something like that. So we'll see what happens. Don't hold it against me if I don't. For real, for all of what it's doing, I'll be honest with you. I'd be willing to give them money for what they've accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
For real. But nonetheless, then they show Turrican, which I know means a lot to a lot of old heads. I'm an old head gamer, don't care about Turrican at all. Don't care about Turrican, Super Turrican. It don't mean nothing to me, but I think it's cute that they showed it at Gamescom. Moving on. Destiny 2, Beyond Light. Moving on. It's like, nah, I'm gonna give you a little love. Jokes.
Them abilities be tough.
Yeah, like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, that joint, I was thinking to myself, should I pre-order this Beyond Light joint? Because you know they're just gonna give me a jump and let me just jump into it. Shut up, Chris Lightning. You right though.
As soon as I saw the title, I was like, "Oh, Chris gonna lose his mind when he see this dude."
Listen, all facts. But here's the thing. I still feel like there's a lot of stuff in Destiny that ain't where I want it to be.
I understand.
But for the sake of the team, maybe, just maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe
we'll jump in and see what pops up.
I'm back on my love-hate relationship with that. I have not touched Destiny now, and
go check out the Gamescom joint they just showed today.
Is it going to reinvigorate me to go back to play Destiny?
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
If it has me on the fence, you just gonna jump right back in. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna lace up your little Destiny boots.
It gave me the spark to be like, okay, let me jump in there and start working on my weapons and all that kind of stuff.
You're right. I shared that meme last night. I don't know if y'all saw it about the game where it was like, what game is it that you just have, you just throw it down and you just can't get away from it? Destiny.
Destiny, yeah, that's
Destiny is absolutely your crack. So yeah, look, the stasis power looks cool, and for real, they've been supposed to add a new power since Destiny 1. So stop playing with me. It's about time. So all right, maybe y'all will get my money. We'll see what happens. And then they showed Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Now let me just say this. Jeff Keighley made such a big deal. He kept saying, we're going to be showing Ratchet and Clank, PlayStation 5, Ratchet and Clank. We're going to have, you know what I'm saying, unedited gameplay, Ratchet and Clank. Slim. They showed the exact same gameplay from the last time you saw Ratchet. It was literally the exact same joint. Nothing new. Not a single new piece of footage at all. I guess that's two at-alls, because it was very, very bruh.
It was unedited,
then they just went into like a little interview with two of the folks from Insomniac talking about it, both of whom were like, yeah, no load times. And here's the thing. I see a lot of people saying that like Ratchet and Clank is like the PlayStation 5 game to show what the PlayStation 5 can do. I don't see it. Okay? I don't see it at all. There's a lot of particle effects. There's a lot of people walking around, stuff like that. I don't find it that impressive. And it's probably because the game itself is so cartoony. Like, it's not pushing, like, showing you realism or showing, you know what I mean? Like, you're not seeing, like, great ray tracing and all that kind of stuff. And maybe when it's not in some kind of a stream, like, I went back and watched the 4K footage, you know what I'm saying, of the individual trailers, because that's what I do, because I live for that kind of stuff. I need that full fidelity. Like, I want to see all of that. I'm not judging it by what I see in the stream.
Right.
I'm judging it by people being like, yeah, like, you could never do this before, where, like, you can literally just, like, walk through a new world or whatever. Not true. There are games that already do it and have done it. I'm not impressed. You're not necessarily showing me that you can literally jump into an entirely new world. Most of the time when you're seeing it, you're literally just zooming from one part of the screen to the other part of the screen, and you're not even going that far. You're like, oh, a bridge is out. I'm going to pull this rift, and now I'm going to be on the other side of a bridge. That's really, like, not that different from teleporting from one side to the other.
Right.
I'm not impressed by that. You got to do more. You got to show me more. So, like, I was expecting, because of the way they kept talking about it, you know what I mean, that we were getting ready to see something crazy. Like,
out of there.
We was at least going to see a new stage, a new gun, some new abilities, something. Nothing. They didn't even give us the name of the female. What is that joint? Who is he? A Lomax? Or what is that? Lombax. Like, they didn't even give us the name. Like, Jeff Keighley tried to get it. He was like, I mean, can you tell us how many letters in the name? He was like, nah. Like,
secret or something. Like,
he was like, people will figure it out if we did it. Like, bro, like, that was what you closed the show with?
I think in order to see all the stuff they're talking about, supposedly, they need to go outside of the demo that they keep showing. Like, show some of these other stages where you actually really get to see the ray tracing take hold. Because one thing about Ratchet & Clank, you do go to all these different worlds. Like, start visiting other worlds. So let's say you do the rift thing from here, and now just boom, I'm in a whole nother world with all these other places to explore, and then zipping back to that one with no load times. Like, you're saying that's what you can do in the game.
You gotta show it.
Yeah, we just haven't seen that. So what you're saying isn't matching what we're seeing on the screen. I'm pretty sure it's fine,
but
man. We're just not seeing it.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is. And I again, I recognize that when you are having to do these things now in the way we're having to do them, when you don't actually have media there to actually try those things out and write something up saying, man, like, it's incredible, you know, or whatever. But I'm going to keep it real with you. As of right now, the most impressive thing I've seen for the PlayStation 5 are the load times from the last Spider-Man game, which are still a secret video that PlayStation hasn't released. Am I, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in order to show the power of what the consoles can do, we can reduce load times by this much. Look at how much faster, how much more powerful, how much stronger it is. That is, that actual timer on the screen of showing you, look how long it takes to load You know what I mean? This to this is something that you can actually put like, oh, okay, I can see that it literally takes an extra 35 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which, when you say 35 seconds, that don't seem like a long time. But when you're sitting there
Sitting
waiting,
there, that's 35 seconds.
That's a long time.
Slim, you know how many loading snacks
I
you
was
can
about
eat
to
in
say that
time
you
frame?
could probably kill your loading stacks in that whole 35 seconds and not
Yeah.
have any left.
It's a whole different ballgame. I mean, the other thing about that is though, is also seeing the difference in like Spider-Man actually swing through the city.
Mm-hmm.
And like you can actually see that like on the original PlayStation 4 Pro, that like there's only so much speed you can attain because it can't actually load the city fast enough
Right.
for them to actually make him move any faster. And when you see PlayStation, again, this was on like tech demo equipment. It wasn't like this was an actual, you know what I mean, like in the world PlayStation 5 or whatever. Still, seeing that made all the difference in the world. And you can't see that. You know what I mean? When you show a new game, a new Ratchet and Clank game, all right, you can lasso the rift and pull it towards you. Cool. I just went from this side to this side, and it gives me some sort of a strategic, you know, whatever. But it's not like, it's not breathtaking. It's not awe-inspiring. It's not giving me the like there's nothing about that, what I see in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, that's like Slim.
Gotta have it.
Gotta get a PS5, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not there. And as a person who is not a Ratchet and Clank fan, I think those games are okay at best. I know you're a fan, Sin. So I know you're already looking forward to it because you're a fan of the franchise. I'm not a fan of the franchise. Somehow I managed to outgrow platformers of that ilk, like 3D platformers, a very long time ago. I feel like there hasn't been anything new and exciting in 3D. There's still not a 3D platformer that is better than Mario 64. Period. That's where I'm at. Like, nothing has pushed or changed or challenged what we could do or what we know, what we knew. Like, nothing has done that since Mario 64. Period. People love Mario Galaxy. I think Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are okay. I think they're cool. I think Mario Sunshine is cool. I think they look good. I think they're updated visuals. But I think in terms of, for the most part, what you can do in those games compared to going from a 2D to a 3D, I don't think anything has come close to doing what those do. And as of now, I'm finding that there are 2D platformers that are better than what you can find in what would be considered an average 3D mascot platformer. So I don't care about Crash Bandicoot. I don't really care. Mario Odyssey was okay. Like, it wasn't, I mean, it was okay. It was a cool game. But it wasn't like, it ain't changing the world. It ain't doing nothing that's like, it ain't the kind of thing that makes you feel like, oh my goodness, they're ushering in new hardware. Like, it didn't feel, you know what I mean? Nothing's had that same kind of impact. And there's stuff now that is in the 2D realm that I think is doing a much better job than that has. Hey, Greg, Zelda on Switch. First and foremost, let me explain to you that I have that Zelda, and I have it on Wii U. It has nothing to do with the Switch. You can play that joint on a Wii U. You know what I'm saying? I didn't buy a Switch for it like a lot of people did because I already had a Wii U. And that was the only game that most people saw as being the reason to buy a Switch at the time. So it didn't get me to buy a Switch. I played it on the system it was built for. It was not built for the Switch. It was built for the Wii U. So, cool. Also, not groundbreaking at all. Like, Breath of the Wild did not do anything that has not been seen or done in other games. It was a first time for a Zelda game.
Right.
There was a lot of stuff that was in there that you didn't traditionally see or get in Zelda games, but they just picked and pulled from other games. That's it. Period. That's it. I mean, look, if you found that there were things, if you can tell me what it was that you found in Breath of the Wild that wasn't available or isn't available, because if it's physics systems have existed in other games for decades. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were physics systems. That's one of the things that's a big deal about Half-Life. Half-Life 2 was the physics and what you could do in it. I mean, that's cute. If you take what everybody else has been doing for decades and you redo it in a format that nobody else has seen it, and I don't think it did it the best. I just think it did it in Zelda. But I don't think it does it better than those games. Like, Zelda's not a better open world. Like, I can name open world games that do open world better than Zelda. Pick a GTA. Pick one. That's
nobody does an open world like Rockstar.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just saying, like, there's a lot that they grabbed and pushed and pulled. I mean, they even said that, like, stuff like GTA, for real, what's the Shadow of Mordor? That open world and what you could do, jumping and climbing or whatever, like, they basically took that Batman engine, which decent, semi-open world, you know what I mean? Arkham City, Arkham, you know, whatever. Took that, put it in a realm. They completely invented something new in the Nemesis system. Something that had not ever been seen or really done before, where you have enemies that come back, named enemies that remember you, remember how you killed them, remember if they killed you. You know what I'm saying? Come back looking for you, fighting, you know, whatever. Like, that was something that was totally and completely different. But Zelda was like, I mean, all right, this is cool. I mean, you can lose your weapons. I hate that. In a Zelda joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just cooking so that you can eat. Games have been doing it for years. Like, there's nothing new about what that game did. It did compile all those things into one game and do them very, very well. I don't know if I'd say best, but very well. You know what I'm saying? Now that I've had a chance to tear into Nintendo a little bit and tear into PlayStation a little bit for Ratchet and Clank, y'all get ready, because I'm getting ready to rip Microsoft a whole new one right now.
And why is that, sir?
Hey, listen. Oh, nah, a lot of people bought Shadow of Mordor because they did 2 games, so they don't make sequels if you don't. If people don't buy them, they don't do another one. That's how that works. That's how that works. And by the way, if you didn't buy Shadow of Mordor, I highly suggest you go get Shadow of Mordor. I guarantee you'll enjoy it more than Zelda. But let's move on. I had the opportunity to play Battletoads this week because it dropped in the Game Pass.
Oh.
Sin, did you play Battletoads?
No, because when we were about to play, I got frustrated along with you for the reason that we could not play, and I never booted it back up.
Oh.
All right, so check this out. So I played by myself. But nah, dog. No, not just like movies. No, because movies will still make money when they go to the second market, meaning that people buy them on DVD or whatever, even if they don't make money in the theater. It's not the same thing. If a game doesn't do well, it doesn't get a sequel. That's just not. That's like a game has to make enough money to get a sequel. That's order, because that market that exists for it is the only market there is. You got to buy it or you don't. There's no second opportunity like you get with DVDs when a movie comes to the theater. Like, nobody went to see it in the theater. Let's put it on DVD. Let's put it on Blu-ray. Let's add some extra footage. Let's do some behind the scenes. Let's talk about it. Like, there's nothing even close to that in video games. You're wilding out, dog. Don't do that to me. Stop playing with me, bro. Stop playing with me. Listen. %90 of the time, I've been singing Microsoft's praises because so much of what they do is so consumer friendly, so forward facing, so like, you have a franchise in Battletoads that is a beloved old franchise, right? People have been, y'all been hinting at the fact that there's going to be a Battletoads for years now, right? We have been waiting for quite some time for this game, okay?
Heck, they even put one of the characters in Killer Instinct.
They did put one of the characters in Killer Instinct. A rare game. So take a rare character. Since you own Rare, put him in there. A Slim. In what world does it make sense that you have a game that is 3-player co-op that you cannot play online?
That's so stupid.
You have Xbox Live, which is the best place to play games online Period, unless you're playing on PC. Period. Now I'm getting ready to go into some real, like...
Oh, boy, here we go.
You had one job. You had one job.
Off jokes.
It's the sideways turn joint. Hey, Slim, you had one job, right? Make a Battletoads game. Make it decent. Just decent. Like, we ain't even begging for a great... Nobody's expecting Battletoads to be great. You know what I'm saying? And, like, nobody's expecting Battletoads to get 9 or 10 or whatever.
Is the key piece of
that
it.
joint ain't about to be no Last of Us. It ain't gonna be no Ghost of Tsushima or whatever. Just, you got one job, dog. You put that joint out. We're in the middle of a pandemic. People are stuck in their houses. I'm not saying you're not stuck in a house with somebody else you might be able to play a co-op game with. But let's run some things down for a second. Nintendo probably has... Nah, not probably. Nintendo is the greatest maker of games on the planet. The quality of their games, unmistakable. It just is what it is. Even their games that aren't their big games, the quality of those games, like Pikmin, whatever. But that game, hey, bruh, solid, through and through. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
What is Nintendo terrible at? Go ahead and say it.
Online.
Online. Nintendo is terrible at online. It is easily the worst aspect of anything Nintendo has done in the last 2 decades. For 2 decades, we've been playing games online, and Nintendo has not been able to get their shit together. Okay. But you know what they did do? Somehow they managed, for $20 a year, to introduce all these old-ass NES games. Nintendo Entertainment System games. Not built for online, and add online co-op to games that did not have an online co-op. Slim. Yep. It's 2020, bruh. Microsoft has owned Rare since like the early 2000s. You have had plenty of opportunity to make and get right a Battletoads game. And I'm going to tell you what. The game's cool. I actually enjoy the game. It ain't great. It's cool. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up, bruh. It's a little bit funny. The characters look good. Animation is cool. The joint is fun to play. That's all I'm asking. However, bruh.
Why can you not get online with your friends and play it?
Hey, dog. Don't tell me it's coming in an update. Don't tell me you didn't know it was a thing people would want. Nobody. Hear me when I say, we've been waiting for a long time for Battletoads. But nobody was chomping at the bit. Like, oh my God, I can't wait for Battletoads.
Right.
Where you like, we better put this joint out right now.
Right.
We can't wait to add the online co-op. What are you doing? One job. Phil Spencer. That's a fail. Whoever it is you put in charge of it, get him out of there.
No,
you shouldn't have let it get past you.
You made a good point with social distancing and all that kind of stuff. Like
that would have been one of the perfect times to add it.
Perfect. Like, there's no reason anything coming out right now should not, that is multiplayer, should not have online co-op.
Even Ghost of Tsushima is adding a co-op mode to the game.
So
it's like, why doesn't
next on my list?
Why doesn't a game that has multiple characters in it that typically are on screen at the same time have online co-op? Right.
We're in a game that's already built for multiplayer that they are adding multiplayer components to and raids.
Yes.
Slim. Streets of Rage 4 just dropped. Like, don't get it twisted. They're not the only ones guilty of this. I was mad at Arc System Works when River City Girls wasn't playable online. How is it River City Girls isn't playable online? Y'all know as well as I do, we just played River City Ransom, the original NES game.
That's an old ass game. Online.
Xbox Live. Slim, what is you doing?
Oh, man.
It's a fact.
What are you doing? Bro, listen. And here's the thing. If this game was not in Game Pass, I would never pick this joint up just because it doesn't have online co-op.
Absolutely.
I would have looked at it before downloading it, before trying to buy it, whatever, to see
Just
does it
right
have
now.
online co-op. I probably would have assumed it would have it. So if I had, I'd probably be mad.
Ooh, you'd
right?
be even hotter.
Oh yeah.
But here's the thing, and I'm gonna be real. I don't even know what they're charging for the game because it's in Game Pass and I have Game Pass, so it's there.
It's just
So
there.
I'm only playing it because it's already there. But that's not an excuse. It's just not. It doesn't make any sense. The game is simple. There are games with far more mechanically going on, visually going on, that you can play online seamlessly that work super well, like a Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
It's a side-scrolling beat-em up, bruh.
I feel like online co-op should just be a thing now. That it shouldn't be the thing that's left out, and couch co-op be in. Couch co-op should be the. Do we need to add that in
Right.
to this game?
Unless if it's just a single,
like,
unless it's just some type of single player only campaign thing that you just play through by yourself, and that's the only thing you would expect. No type of co-op to be in it. But when you have a game that's got multiple characters that are on the screen typically at the same time all the time.
original was co-op.
I really have to think. Like, I'm really just in my head. I'm like, who greenlit this? Who thought it doesn't really need it? It has couch co-op. Like, who?
Yeah.
You have achievements that are tied to playing in co-op.
And no one technically should be really getting together like that. So, said achievements.
Yes. We'll just be.
I mean, again, I'm not saying there aren't households that have young
Right.
kids in them where they would be playing it together, you know what I'm saying, in a house together anyway or whatever, or parents that won't play with their kids or whatever. I'm not saying there aren't cases or scenarios for people to play at couch co-op. That's cool. Have couch co-op. I don't care if you have couch co-op. I actually think it's a good thing to have couch co-op. But dog, online co-op is a base component
Yes.
of a
Yeah.
multiplayer game.
It's simple as that.
I don't. This is coming from the same people. I mean, it's a Rare title.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the direct developer.
Right.
It's a Rare title. But let's not make a mistake. Rare has, in Sea of Thieves, a game that can only be played online. 3-dimensional, sail around the entire world, share a map, look at a map, navigate together.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't give me online co-op in Battletoads?
Nope.
Is it a throwaway? Is it you don't care? It's like, we just gonna throw it in Game Pass, it doesn't matter? Like that there's a signal being sent here. You have the nerve to have a Battletoad toy in Grounded, an online co-op game by another one of your teams.
So you're obviously pushing Battletoads to an extent.
Yeah, but when you
In
In a
multiplayer
game that's in game preview. I don't care. Tell me Battletoads is in game preview. I'm getting it in Game Pass anyway. What are you doing, Slim? I'm like, real talk. That joint, you dropped the ball hard on that joint.
Mm-hmm.
Like straight up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
2 more quick things. Darksiders Genesis. Center, you enjoying it?
Having a blast with it. Nice Game Pass pickup. Nice Game Pass pickup.
Nice Game Pass pickup.
Yeah.
You know how we're playing it?
Co-op.
co-op.
All right. I mean, look, I'm not saying that I would be happy with Darksiders Genesis if I had paid for it. And I'm just going to keep it a buck. Like, it's cool. It's a fun game, whatever. Again, I don't even know what the actual price point is because it's just in there. So I just picked it up and I'm playing it. But now, to close out, the jokes, I want to have a conversation with you. I don't actually want to have a conversation with you. I just want you to talk to me about this Guitar Hero ridiculousness. I saw you playing. Please break this down for me and the people.
I got you.
What?
So I found this online. I saw somebody playing Guitar Hero online. So I said let me go ahead and watch the feed. But the first thing about it was when the person was playing, they were playing. It was a track that I knew for a fact that was not on one of the Guitar Hero games.
Any Guitar Hero. Right.
So I was like, hold on. But then I noticed something. The bar that normally where the point scores go up on there was actually the Rock Band score thing. And I was like, wait a minute, this isn't even Guitar Hero. So, you didn't gone to a taboo subject. Look at you.
No.
It ain't me. It ain't me. That's you, because you in there talking about, I don't know, some kind of illegal PC game you playing. They think if they shut me down, they shut it all down.
Nope.
They don't know. They just grabbed the wrong person.
But
yeah.
But the
I'm
name.
gonna back out and come back in.
I got you. But the name of it is called Clone Hero. So it's on PC. Now we look weird. It's on PC. You download it, and essentially you can download all the tracks from all of the Guitar Hero games. So that's one. On top of that, fans of the game have actually created their own tracks with their own rhythms, their own beats that you can also download as well too. So one, for me being a Guitar Hero fan, I was like, yo, I gotta get this, because outside of what was the last one? Guitar Hero Live, where you got the guitar and it actually had like the real frets on there. I want the game. I just want the five color buttons. Call it a day. Like that was my thing. So outside of being able to download all the tracks from all the Guitar Hero games, you have all these fan created tracks and everything. First thing I hopped on was there was anime tracks in there. So
I saw that Black Clover intro.
That Black Clover intro hit on something. But since I did that, I didn't download it Black Clover. I didn't download it Cowboy Bebop. I didn't download it Tank, the opening theme on the guitar.
Okay.
That shit is not easy at all. I got Tank. What else have I gotten? I've downloaded like whole Evanescence albums on there, Linkin Park albums on there.
You got Creed?
Shut the hell up.
Hey Slim, you beat me to it. I ain't gonna let him keep going.
Just because you said that.
You jumped the gun, Slim.
Just because you said that, I'm gonna go look. But it's essentially it's become almost like a fan oriented type thing that someone has created this to keep the passion of Guitar Hero alive. Because as of now, like Live was the last one. It doesn't seem like they're gonna do anything else with Guitar Hero, at least at this point.
I'm pretty sure that joint didn't sell, so they're not making another one. Like Richardson. That joint just did not move units.
You gotta grab that Silhouette joint, Naruto joint, James.
I didn't find this. Either no one has created or I just haven't found the right place. The cool thing is when you download and go onto the website and download it, they give you like this gigantic list of songs and tracks that you can download. It's like all the Guitar Heroes are in there, all the rock bands are in there. You can also download them too. And then you get, what's cool is for the folks that have made their own tracks, you can go on, like they're loaded on YouTube. So you can watch them actually play, and then you can just go and download it yourself. Like,
is it, so hold on, so this is all, it's all PC.
It's all PC.
So how are you but you're using your instruments, right? Like you were, oh my gosh.
The original, the Xbox 360 guitar just plugs into the USB port and it's good to go.
Because it's USB, so you can just rock with it.
And you just go for it.
That's what's up. What's the joint called?
Clone Hero.
Clone, yeah.
Clone, like CLONE?
Yeah,
Clone
like
Hero?
Clone, yes. And you know, what's cool about it is, at first, it seems like it's just like a fan-oriented type thing, but there's starting to be like actual like bands that are like giving tracks to them to actually put on there, like Dragon Force, who probably has one of the most popular songs through guitar, Through the Fire and Flames. One of their tracks, before they had released it apparently on their album, they gave the Clone Hero to actually put into the game. So
I mean, it makes sense, man. It's one of those things that, like, it actually probably is driving, if nothing else, like Spotify, like listens for them. You know what I mean? Like you might as well just give it to them and let them run it, and then people are probably going, listening to them. Coming back across stuff that they just hadn't been listening to or playing. I see Ellis just jumped in. He wants to know if you've been playing anything on your Oculus, dog. What you been rocking with?
No, I have not been playing anything on it right now. I just need to wait until I get a haircut just to make everything fit a little bit more comfortable on that thing. So right now, I'm tired of taking the on and off, air getting snatched. Just what?
It's getting caught in what? In the Velcro?
In
Velcro back there?
Man, you a gamer. Work through the pain. Do it. Just put it on and play.
Plus, I wanted to order a silicone mask for this so it doesn't get all sweaty because that thing does get hot after you have it for a while.
I'm sure.
I can believe that. Yeah.
So I ordered me a little silicone part for there off of Amazon, so it's easy to wipe down, easy to keep it clean, all that kind of stuff. So
why don't you just order you a skull cap?
No, I'm just getting this cut off next week. Finally.
I mean, I'm not. I mean, okay, I'm just saying.
That's a workaround until you actually get the cut. Like
it would have been easy.
Plus, it's gonna grow back anyway, so you probably run into the whole issue all over again at one point.
Just go ahead and get you a do-rag, Banana Dana, you know what I'm saying? Rosanna Dana, something, throw it on, and you know what I'm saying? Get virtual one time.
It's got to go. Gotta cut it. I gotta be comfortable using that thing. That thing, you gotta put it somewhere in VR.
I know what it is. It's that same, me and Sin got this thing where, anytime we get, a new Final Fantasy or, a serious RPG, we can't play it until we clean the whole room. The whole room got to be spotless before we get, that's a thing. I don't know why that's a thing. That's a thing. For both of us. They're serious. I can't do it.
I'm waiting for new game comes out, then I'm waiting for it. Everything's got to be clean because I don't want nothing.
It got to be spotless.
Yeah.
That's a real thing, dog. That's a real thing. It gotta be spotless, spotty out of
I think it goes back to I never wanted mom to stop me from playing, so let me get everything
to
clean,
clean the room up or something like that.
So it's nothing nobody coming in and say,
I
can sit down and just rock.
Get off that game, clean your room.
I feel much better when a joint is when it's just a clean environment anyway. I just feel better, but. I think for me it comes down to it used to just be all right, I gotta sit down, I gotta open up the strategy guide, I need this floor space, I need this space. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have a space for my snacks. I gotta have my snacks, my strategy guide, my controller, I gotta have my space. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a thing, bruh. I don't know how you didn't do it, jokes, but anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, look, man. We're gonna wrap this up. We are a bit over, but it was, we're having a good time. And Gamescom's been kind of weak. Well, next week we'll let y'all know if they actually gave us any solid information. I'm really gonna be seriously looking for a tweet or something from somebody at Microsoft going, "Oh yeah, we're gonna add online co-op Battletoads. It's coming. We was always gonna do that." Lying, lying, dog. But yeah, so listen, make sure you follow us across all social media. That is always greatly appreciated. Again, I want to thank everybody who jumped in and bought shirts when the shirts were on sale. That went phenomenally. So we definitely will be doing that again. I am already in talks with an artist, Michael Bracco, to work on some shirts for us for our fundraiser shirts for breast cancer. So keep your eyes open for that. That will absolutely be coming. Glad you had a good time, Greg. Yeah, listen, that new Switch thing is still a rumor.
Big rumor.
Yeah.
And I'm not ready to get all the way into that. And yeah, there were no Batman games talked about. There were only Gotham Knights games talked about. Ain't no Batman in that joint.
Batman dead.
You know what I'm saying?
Dead.
Fandom was cool. There was a couple joints. Suicide Squad looks like it's gonna be cool. We probably gonna have to kill Batman in that joint. That'll be dope. That should be easy.
If the Suicide Squad
he ain't got no powers. Anyway, yeah, them joints gonna be clean. That Gotham Knights, man, looking more and more like it might be a games as a service joint, definitely heavy RPG elements, which is different for them. But I'm with it. You know what I mean? Anytime you hit the dude in the face and numbers pop up above his head,
Yeah.
yeah, we will definitely dig into that a little more on the next go round. But Sin, do me a favor and go through the folks at the top tier for us in Patreon.
Of course.
I want to make sure we give them a shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Anthony Cunningham, shout out to Ellis, shout out to Susan Dortch, shout out to Tyrone Carson, and shout out to Victoria Ford. We greatly appreciate you supporting us at the top 10. Thank you very, very much.
For sure. The original plan for the day was for it to all be about DC fandom, and then it was like, oh, Opening Night Live is today, so we kind of had to go through all of that. That just made it for a really long show. So, and then I really needed to complain about Microsoft more than I needed to be excited about what was going on with them, because that I was pissed off. And you know, y'all don't often get to hear me complain about them and what they doing.
So you said you would go ahead and
stunk
do that
all
for
the
this
way
one
down.
time.
Yeah, they stunk that all the way down. I needed to jive like, you know what I mean? Dang. Hey, listen. I guess Ellis want the last name. He want the whole Mr. Mbe. You gotta give him the whole.
Well, Ellis Mbe, I apologize for that. Shout out to you, my brother.
Somebody said, wait. You can't say my last name? Yeah. DJ L Ice, bruh. So yeah. Wow.
You don't be throwing shots at us all games in the comments.
Some shots. They're usually Halo related shots, bro. They're usually like Halo related shots.
Oh, you probably just
Spider-Man related shots.
Probably did.
Batman related shots. You know, we'll see how that goes. I will say this: that the Batman trailer does look good, and I know I ain't get to talk about it with y'all last week, but that joint looked like, I try to tell y'all, man, that joint might be a problem.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, so look, we're going to get up out of here. Again, greatly appreciate everybody tuning in, for being in the chat, for talking with us, for arguing with us, for fighting with us. We had a good time. Always absolutely love it. Woo! Because he dead in it.
And that's how we close the show.
It's like, what's up with that Halo, though? All right, yeah, you know what? We can all jump on Master Chief Collection. What's up? Ain't no thing. With that said, we out. Toodles and loops. What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do. Shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate you.